Hey, what's up guys, it's Unleash here today. We are back with another video on Sonic Frontiers and a bit of the Sonic series in general. Because in today's video, we have some thoughts from Sega about the general success of Sonic Frontiers and also the future of the franchise. And just like pretty much everything recently regarding Sonic, it's looking good. So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's take a look at the news at hand. Onto Tails channel, we Sonic Rush. Sega talk Sonic Frontiers future plans, promotions, DLC, and latest investor Q&A. We believe we have found a title that is widely accepted by a lot of people around the world. In a Q&A with investors, Sega's parent company, Sega Sammy Holdings, appeared confident with the sales scheme of Sonic Frontiers. The Hedgehog's latest mainline game recorded a strong financial performance, and it was well received by fans despite an admittedly lower Metacritic score. The company is expected to double down on Frontiers in the long term, based on strategies like pricing and promotions, as well as commitment to large-scale projects and repeat sales through free downloadable content. Manual translation of the major points from the Q&A, courtesy of the Tales channel web team, follows. Rating the quality of Sonic Frontiers. Question. While the Metacritic score for Sonic Frontiers was not as high as it was hoped, we know that it was well received by fans. How do you evaluate the quality of this title? Answer. It's true that the Metacritic score was slightly lower than we expected, but the user score was very high. With that, we believe we have found a title that is widely accepted by a lot of people around the world. It's to be believed that we can build more repeat sales of Sonic Frontiers through pricing, discounts, and the recently announced DLC. Yeah, there we go! For the people who've been saying that Unleash, the Frontiers DLC is not DLC, it's just an update. There you go, Sega themselves said it's a DLC, so you can shut your mouth now, leave me alone, okay? Anyways, carrying on. We plan to further promote the Sonic franchise in the future, such as the release of Sonic Prime, the third Sonic film, and merchandising opportunities. Right, to summarize that little paragraph right there, Sega admits that yes, the Metacritic score of the game isn't as high as they wanted, but even still, the fans seem to be absolutely just loving the game. And because of that, they're very happy with the success of Sonic Frontiers, and thank bloody god for that. Because we know how Sega is with critic scores in the past, because if a critic doesn't like a game, then yeah, they're just going to change the game completely and just remove a lot of things just to appease those critics instead of the fans, which really matter, to be honest with you. I mean, us fans are going to be the ones who are getting most of the sales for the game, so it makes sense to appease to us rather than the critics, but yeah. Anyways, moving on. The game's sales strategy. Question. Even though you've not done a sale for Sonic Frontiers, the average unit price has not decreased that much. Please tell us about your future sales strategy. Answer. We are proceeding with this title based on a strategic sales plan. We conducted intensive promotions around the November release, and as announced recently, we've been able to achieve a good result so far. A temporary sale was held around Black Friday, but the selling price has since returned to normal. We have been able to achieve these results while maintaining a certain level of quality, and the number of units sold greatly exceeded our original estimation. We will continue to sell over the long term based on sales strategies such as pricing, promotions, and the development of further DLC. So yeah, overall, Sega is very happy with the financial success of Sonic Frontiers. The game's been selling very well for a Sonic game, and because of that success, it seems that the game won't be going on sale that much apparently, which I don't really believe because the game's been going on sale like a lot recently, and I'm not complaining about that, but I'm just making an observation here. But yeah, the game's been going on sale a lot recently, so maybe that's been helping towards the number of units sold for the game. I'm not too sure, but from the way I'm seeing it, the game's been making a lot of discounts recently, but if Sega are saying that it's not going on sale that much, then I guess I'll believe them. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. Will Sega commit to large-scale projects like Frontiers in the future? Question. With the strong performance of Sonic Frontiers and other global titles, will you be focusing more on projects like it in the future? Answer. We expect development costs for new titles to grow even larger in the future. We will strive to ensure solid quality in the development of major titles from existing franchises. However, development labor costs will rise due to the impact of the global external environment, and we expect this trend to continue for the foreseeable future. Since it is necessary to take on these challenges for major titles, we are proceeding with a bigger budget even from the basic research stage. Therefore, we assume that development costs for future new titles will increase accordingly. And there we go! That is the news I've been wanting to hear for God knows how long now. Sega are finally going to be giving some Sonic games a bigger budget. It's a goddamn miracle, man. It's a goddamn miracle. Ever since the release of Sonic Unleashed, you could definitely tell in the quality of Sonic games that the budget had gone down by a big margin. The games were shorter, not as content filled, and they just felt quite cheap in a lot of areas. And you could definitely feel that in games like Sonic 5 Episode 1. And that feels like the most cheapest game I've ever played for Sonic, man. Like, my god. I've seen even some fun projects that I feel even more expensive than that. Like, my god. Sonic 4 Episode 1 felt extremely cheap. And then you had games like Forces where it just felt extremely lacking compared to previous titles, especially in the 2000s where the games felt extremely large budget. Heck, even the spin-off titles in the 2000s felt way higher budget than the games in the 2010s. I mean, comparing Sonic Riders to Team Sonic Racing and Sonic Free Riders, Sonic Riders actually had animated cutscenes, and in Team Sonic Racing and Free Riders, they were just talking PNGs with some text underneath, and that was it. I mean, they were voice acted, which is something, but even still, those cutscenes felt so cheap compared to Riders with actually animated cutscenes and everything. And while Frontiers felt like it was definitely a larger budget game compared to the previous games, it still felt kind of cheaped out in some areas like cyberspace, and then near the end of the game with Aranos Island where just a chopped up part of Kronos Island just chucked into a new island. So it's good to see that Sega is finally putting a bigger budget into these Sonic games, because my god, we've needed this for so long now. Like, apart from Lost World, when was the last time we actually got a CGI cutscene in a Sonic game? Like, yeah, colours. My god, that was so long ago now. Like, we had them for Forces and Frontiers, but only in the trailers, not actually inside the game. Whereas games like Unleashed, 6, heck, even Black Knight and Secret Rings had some beautiful CGI cutscenes in those. So, hopefully, these bigger budgets can actually result in some higher quality Sonic games now. Like, I want some better animation for the cutscenes, some more CGI cutscenes in there, and just a very polished experience overall. Like, that's all we need, man. That's all we need. Right, moving on. Generating repeat sales. Question. Considering your earnings forecast for this fiscal year and the current market environment, I assume that there'll be a lot of uncertainty about the next fiscal year. How are you planning to increase repeat sales during the current term, and what's the status of the new titles? Answer. Since there were many new titles in the previous fiscal year, we took on a strategy of repeat sales in our plan coming into this fiscal year, and it continues to fall short of our forecasts. On the other hand, despite the not so favourable market environment, we were able to maintain the same level of repeat sales as in the previous fiscal year. We believe that the prospects are clear to some extent. Given that titles that performed well this term, such as Sonic Frontiers, and with the upcoming DLC, we believe that sales will increase even further. We're also considering sales strategies. New works are scheduled for the Like a Dragon series, Hyenas, and more. Please keep your eyes open for upcoming titles. And that's it for that article there. So Sega's expectations for the repeat sales for this fiscal year were kind of lacking compared to the previous one, because they wanted to do a lot more, I'm guessing, but obviously it kind of fell short here. But it still kept on the same level as the previous fiscal year, which is good, I guess. And with Sonic Frontiers in particular, they're going to try to use the DLC to increase the number of repeat sales even further. And if they are saying that, then that must mean that this DLC is going to be big. Well, not going to, but should be big. I mean, obviously for a person to actually want to buy a game just for the DLC obviously has to be big. It just can't be a pathetic DLC or it's not going to be worth it at all. So for Update 3 in particular, yeah, they're going to have to do quite a lot. It can't just be like 15 minutes or something like Episode Shadow and Sonic Forces, because yeah, that's not really a whole lot of content. It has to be like at least an hour's worth for each character, I'm guessing. I mean, it is a Sonic game after all, so you can't put in too much content because, yeah, it's a Sonic game. But still, we don't want it too short. We need at least a decent amount of content to actually encourage people to actually buy the game just for the DLC. And obviously Update 1 and 2 are going to play a part in this, but it's going to be mainly Update 3 because obviously that is the big update here. If you drop the ball with Update 3 and the characters just aren't fun to play as, then yeah, the DLC is going to be kind of a flop. Like, sure, some new challenge modes and some photo mode is actually pretty cool, not gonna lie, but I'm here for Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, honestly. That's what I'm here for, that's the main thing for me. So if Update 1 and 2 are fire, but Update 3 is kind of slacking, then I wouldn't say the DLC is a flop, but it's definitely be a bit disappointing. So if Sega really want to get some more repeat sales for Sonic Frontiers with the DLC, it needs to be good. Like, full stop, it just needs to be good. But yeah, as a whole, Sonic Frontiers is, yeah, looking pretty successful in the eyes of Sega, which is great. I mean, if Sega sees that Sonic is being successful, then obviously, like they're showing right here, they're going to want to put more work into the Sonic series as a whole, like more manpower and higher budgets, obviously. And we've seen evidence of both of this because, as well as having a higher budget right here, a couple of months back, we see right here from the official Sega Japanese account, Sega is currently looking for people to work on the Sonic the Hedgehog series. If you're interested in game development, or like the Sonic series of games, please apply. Recruitment details for planning assistant, part-time job. So yeah, Sega is looking for some more manpower for the Sonic series, which is great because Frontiers was only made by 60 people, like that's it. That's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. But if we can get some more people for Frontiers 2 and also a higher budget, then the game could come out even sooner and even bigger than the previous game, which is going to be absolutely just fantastic, man. Like, even though I want them to take their time with the games, that doesn't mean I want to sit here waiting for 7 years just for the next game to be even bigger. Like, I don't want to wait 7 years for the next mainline Sonic game. I'm not waiting that long. We need them to be more efficient and effective. That's what we need right here. And it looks like we're actually getting that, so yeah. The future of the Sonic series is looking absolutely bright, man. It's looking good, man. Very good. Anyways, that about does it for today's video. So yes, Sega is very happy with the success of Sonic Frontiers and wants to give the games bigger budgets for the future, which is absolutely fantastic. But what do you guys think of this news? Do you think the DLC could be big enough to actually get a lot more repeat sales for Sonic Frontiers? Let me know down below. Let's see what you guys have to say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, especially that last one. Don't forget to become unleashed, pressing that join button down below. And remember, it's not necessary. And I'll see you all next time. Peace!